Lauraye owns up. It was springtime on the island of New Florida, and the trains on the tracks were being really useful like all the others on Sodor and Trosesket. Everyone on the rails were being really useful indeed, while they did their work by pulling passengers, freight, and gender cars of where they needed to go. Goods trains around the US are useful too, because they can be led by more than one engine. Sometimes they face forward and sometimes they face backwards. But because of that, there is no turntable, because it doesn't matter which way the locomotive faces, because if it's facing backwards, the engineer can switch to that locomotive while the other cars get moved along. And that's what makes new technology around the world very efficient indeed. Women trains are useful too, because they pull gender products of where they need to go for other planets that are hospitable to life other than Earth. One day, on the island of Sodor, James was delivering slate to the Blue Mountain Quarry. He was being a really useful engine. "Make way for a red engine!" puffed James. "Chugga chugga 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 choo choo!" Train coming through, but little did he know that there was a truck stuck on the tracks. "I think we need to stop, driver. There's a truck on the line." His driver slammed on the emergency brakes. But it was too late. "Your pipes are leaking, James," he said. "My red coat is all ruined!" moaned James. His driver and fireman looked at the leak. Water was coming right out of James's boiler when Bill and Ben pulled up with their wipers on. "Look who's he then!" Bill said. "It's a crazy engine, of course. It's not. It's James' old leaks." "Stop that!" roared James. "Leaking is not funny and you don't joke about it." He was stern. "Maybe if your pipes are leaking, you'd have a diaper on," Bill said. "Engines don't wear diapers," laughed James. "That's what babies and old dogs wear, not locomotives." Then diesel oiled over. "Ooh, you look like you have a leak in your boiler," puffed Diesel. "Maybe it's best if you have a a pad under your bogies like Gordon had. That's not funny, sniffed James. Engines don't wear diapers, and that isn't just a silly thing to say to us, Bill said. Sir Topham Hatt was stern. You can't have restrum language on my railway, said Sir Topham Hatt. It's not suitable for the tracks. Then Lauraye pulled up. She buffered up to James. I'll have you to the works in no time, she said. And they steamed onto the countryside. Gordon was pulling the express. Express coming through, Gordon said. Choo-choo! And then he passed James and Lauraye. And the water splashed onto Gordon's boiler, and his driver turned the wipers on. Lauraye and James came to a stop to reverse direction. And they backed into the siding. James got a diaper on. James got a diaper on. As Lauraye backed her train into the siding, and the brake van slowed the train down, and they came to a stop. Now that you saved James, Mr. Cakester said, I would like you to collect a train of toxic waste and take it off island today. Sounds good, sir, Lauraye said. And she steamed into the yard and buffered up to the freight cars. And she puffed away as much as she could. She hooked up. And I love this job, Lauraye said. Women trains do this work every day. In the brake van, the guard was having his lunch. And the boxcar was filled with lots of varieties of things. Then there was trouble. The freight cars were very heavy, and then they began to push Lauraye down the hill. Whoa! They cried. They were going faster and faster. I've got to stop! I've got to stop! Lauraye said. She was so out of control that she didn't know a runaway road truck was coming filled with jet fuel. Her driver and fireman jumped to safety as the truck smashed into her freight car and derailed the whole train. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the freight cars were derailed and they were all crumpled. I'm sorry about this, Lauraye said. I didn't have time to stop. Her boiler was dented and leaking fuel. Then she heard a voice. I'll be happy to help you, said a voice. It was Lenore. I'm glad to help you, she said. Oh, thank you, Lauraye said. I would love your help. A few minutes later, Lauraye was back on the tracks with 2 flatbeds between her while she did her work. Thank you for helping, Lenore, she said. You're the best engine ever. Oh, thank you, she said. You are too, Lauraye. And they steamed off to the works.